that one.
It's one of my favorite. The vocal performance at the end there is
Unbelievable.
unbelievable.
Like nothing. It's otherworldly.
Prince,
Yeah.
his music, he had something for every mood. It wasn't like just one genre. It's like you go from the beautiful ones, the lady cab driver, to the cross, or it's just, it's so.
Yeah, he's amazing. And because of that, that helped me be a diverse producer as well,
Are you tired of talking about Prince?
No, I love talking about Prince.
Susan does too, but other people don't want anything to.
No, I love talking about Prince. This is how I look at Prince. Prince was and is, wherever he is, he's a genius. He was a gift from God. He was channeling stuff probably from the universe, was flowing through him, and he was put here for a reason. And that's it. And yes, he was a human being, and he was flawed like all of us. And he did things, yes, that could be bad, and he did great things.
Yeah.
And that's all I can say.
And you as the consumer, the listener, the viewer can magnify what things you want to. Some people to magnify only the bad things.
And I have forgiven him for any transgressions that he may have perpetrated on me in my time with him. There were difficult moments, sure. Yeah.
Were you shocked when you heard that he had passed away?
Absolutely. It was like losing a family member. I went into a state of complete, utter shock that day. It was like losing a parent.
Who told you?
Well, this is an interesting story because I was at my job I worked for a company that was doing tech work and music business work starting in January of 2016. And in April of 2016, I was at my office, and I got a call from a friend who lived in Chanhassen, where Paisley Park is, Chanhassen, Minnesota. And he said, I just heard, I have a friend one of my friends at the police station, I know the head of the police of Chanhassen, said they found someone who had passed away at Paisley Park. He called me, and I said, you got to be kidding. I hope it's not Prince.
Oh my God.
He says, they don't know who it is yet.
Wow.
And I was like, oh God, I know there's only 2 people living there right now. I knew that he just had an assistant and maybe a couple other people that come and go during the day. And I just felt it. I could feel at that time that it didn't feel right. And then about a half hour later, he called me again and actually confirmed that it was Prince, and nobody else knew yet. The media had no news of it. The police had not released it. I literally knew before everybody else knew because of this person.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm in my office, and my couple of coworkers who were on my team said, hey, you want to go for lunch? And I go, I can't eat. I go, why? I just found out Prince passed away. And they went, what? I mean, it was just like unbelievable. Unbelievable. And then to make matters worse, at that time, I was performing with a band that was doing Prince music. We were called The Purple Experience, based out of Minneapolis. And we had a show to do the following night in Chicago. And they all wanted to cancel. I said, yeah, let's try and cancel. But the promoter and our booking agent said, you can't. This is under contract. The show is sold out. The promoter does not want you to cancel. You got to do the show. And the fans are going to want to hear Prince music because he just passed away. And that's what we did. We went and performed.
What was that like?
It wasn't fun. It was weird. I was at the airport watching Prince news on CNN, sitting there and seeing my picture come up on videos and stuff while I'm getting ready to fly out of Minneapolis to go do this show.
When was the last time you spoke to Prince?
I spoke to him probably several times in 2015.
Over what?
It was just, he in 2014, actually, he was kind of interested in reuniting with the revolution again. And he expressed that interest to me. And I said, great. He asked me if I'd be interested in doing that. And I said, absolutely. I'd love to reunite with everybody. And then he never followed through.
Yeah.
I just do recall at that meeting, I didn't think he looked well. That's all I can say. Even a couple of years before he passed, I thought he looked a little funny.
Wow.
That's all I know. So he seemed fine.
That was in person?
Yeah. But he seemed fine.
And that was, but then he was calling you in 2015 as well?
Yeah. Yeah. We were just talking business. There were some issues with some royalties and stuff that
And he'd call you personally about that?
I called him.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you had a direct contact. You could get in touch with him. And
yeah.
Wow. Well, I can't tell you how much it means
And,
for you.
when I put out a solo album back in 01, he promoted it for me on his website too. And then my album came out literally the day before 9/11, which didn't help things at all for that album. But, whatever. But he liked it, he was putting my record up there, and Mark Brown had one, and Sheila E. was putting all these Prince alumni artists had albums out that year, and he was helping to promote them for us, which I thought was really generous.
If I brought a young artist in here, maybe they're 14 or something, what 3 songs would you have them listen to turn them on to Prince?
Oh, for sure. Like I'd play the first single, "Soft and Wet." It's brilliant, really cool song. It's like, oh, listen to this. This is his first thing, his freshman offering. Check it out. Listen to the whole record. Then from there, probably fast forward to like Lady Cab Driver or something on 1999 or Controversy, and then anything off Purple Rain.
Did you like the later stuff in the 90s?
Yeah, I did. I found a lot of things I liked that he did after that. And then there was one album in particular, which I don't recall which one it was, but when I heard some of the stuff, someone played it for me for the first time, because I hadn't listened to that album a long time. This is a long time ago, but when I listened to it, I couldn't recognize him in it at all from what I remember him doing. He had reinvented his whole thing.
The Rainbow Children?
Oh, no, I like the Rainbow Children record. I was actually at the premiere of that listening party at Paisley Park. I loved that record. And that, to me, sounded like him. But there was one earlier where it didn't sound like him anymore, like the 80s Prince at all. His voice, his tone of his voice didn't even sound like him. Yeah. It was a whole different person. It's really interesting. I found that to be interesting. I enjoyed the music, but it didn't sound like Prince music to me. It sounded like a whole nother person. Very strange.
Later in 2014, do you think he had people that were there for him? And
absolutely.
He did have a lot of great friends.
Absolutely.
You would hear stories, though, that he would show up at like clubs, sit by himself sometimes, or do weird things, and just always alone. And he was living at Paisley alone. Mm-hmm. I didn't know if he was kind of isolated and depressed at that time. And
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I've been working with Kirk Johnson, the drummer, with the Funk All-Stars, like I was saying before, but and I've talked to him, and he was always close to Prince up until the end. He was like Prince's right-hand man and was helping him, and he did his best to deal with the drug addiction. He didn't even really know a lot about it. He wasn't even totally aware that was going on.
Yeah, no one was.
Yeah, until and then when he realized how bad it had gotten, that's when they tried to intervene at that time.
And that was just like a month before he had passed.
Right.
Then the plane landed, and sad. Yeah. But we can carry on and listen to his music. That Third Eye
Girl
band,
project,
yeah. When they do "She's Always in My Hair,"
the
live version, that's the coolest thing
great.
ever. We recreated it in here, actually.
No, that was a great band too.
Yeah,
he always had great musicians around him. Anybody that came and went with him, he always picked, technically gifted players. And
this is real music. These are
by real
musicians.